Okay. Um, so I actually want to talk about something that. Oh, you guys can meet my kitty. Oh, oh you're stuck. Oh, this is Perk. She's not that. Are you stuck to my pants? She's not that kind, but you guys can meet her. That's her. Perk, say hi. She's not that nice. Okay, you can go down. Ugh. Sorry. Anyway, where was I going? Oh, okay. So this is interesting. Also, do you guys like my ribbed tee? Because like I picked it out and it was kind of like a big deal for me because I never shop or buy anything. So me buying something was like kind of a major deal. Anyway, um, so today I actually want to talk about not necessarily what happened with Diddy, right? Because we saw that like something really major happened in the world of P Diddy, right? And then like a lot of people have made critiques about it. But here's something that nobody's talking about, and I kind of wonder why. So Diddy is a father, right? Didn't we see Diddy all over Instagram? He's all over everywhere with his new baby love. People were writing articles about like Diddy and baby love, right? And he's a great father. He also has other children, right? He has Justin, he has Quincy, he has the Combs twins, and he has their sister. All of those are like young people in the world, and that guy who did all of this crazy shit to Cassie, who is also kind of a beloved person that we all know, all of these people are living, we have one society, right? So here's one thing that I don't understand about the black community. First of all, has anyone heard any of the Combs twins, Quincy, Justin, anyone say anything, even addressing that their father did this? Like, I just wonder, like, if your dad came out to be like kind of a rapist in a sense, like who was forcing you to do like weird sex acts with prostitutes, it's like, wouldn't you kind of feel a certain way and be like, I don't really see you the same, dad, you're not like this. I have thoughts, right? All of you seem to be real, not maybe, hopefully not on this part of the internet, but I'm saying like a lot of the cancel culture people seem really like primed and primed to kind of like get on here and share their thoughts about like, oh, this thing made me feel this way and now I feel this way because of blah blah blah. Everybody has all these feelings now, right, about this shit happening. So I'm just trying, I'm wondering like, where did all of these like heavy critiques and feelings go? Like, why does everybody stop talking about their feelings now? Like, like how do these kids, let's just take the Combs twins for instance. These are like high school girls who are pretty high profile, who are going to school with like other high profile people. Like, that's the thing where I keep talking about elite spaces. Like, you guys keep, well, maybe not some of you guys, but I think that as a black community, we don't have a realistic grasp on like how things work and how people are separated, and like how people who have more function. So like people who have more money, like the Kardashians kids or whatever, they go to private schools with other rich people. There's other rich people in society who don't have, Skims or like whatever other businesses that Kim owns, or make rap music like Kanye. They do other things in society. Maybe some of the sports players, the people who own the teams, like their kids probably go there. And like if you were a parent, just think about this. Like, if you were a parent and then you had a child, would you still be comfortable like letting your child hang out with like Diddy and Diddy's kids now, knowing the shit that he does and he's into, and he hasn't exactly been convicted for it, but he settled the case, meaning that he's kind of saying, yeah, I might have done that. You might not feel that comfortable being in community with someone like that. Now, why is it that like we haven't heard shit from these? I'm not saying it's the kids' fault. Like, I'm not saying that we need to be like, oh, like, fuck those little girls now. Like, oh my God. But I am saying, like, they seem to be kind of like going on with like their lives as though nothing happened. Like I haven't seen anybody like start to like make a public appearance and be like, "Oh my God, I'm so sad now. I need to be like, what is it called? Emancipated from my parents are so awful. I can't believe my father is a rapist." Oh, and you know why? We have to talk about this because like I saw, and I'll actually put this video in the description box. I think I said I was gonna do it before, and then I just didn't because I think I forgot or something. But here's the deal: like other communities are accountable for shit. The one thing I will say about the conservatives, when somebody fucks up and they show themselves to be like a rapist, a pedophile, a porn person, a like OnlyFans person, their character references are checked and they are held accountable. You are now known as like the person who did that. Why is there like just fucking no accountability in the black community? Like who's holding, how is it that like now these people are just like okay? And I think the reason that everyone's okay and nobody's like stunned or shocked by this, because this could have been a really good lesson in terms of like, especially being of, how can you say it, of like a black girl therapy moment. It could have been a good opportunity for a black girl therapy moment because we could see like how people closest to them like came to console them in ways, and how they are processing grief. And you know, like I will say, like I'm not a part of like the social media community, so this could have been something that happened and then I just brushed over it. But I just think with the way the amount of access that we have to social media, it's actually very clear that this didn't happen, because we would have read something about it and we've heard nothing about it. The biggest thing right now is like the Cat Williams interview. And like I think so many people, not just in Hollywood but like proximate to Hollywood too, like that's the thing I want to make clear. One of the reasons I'm currently living in a extremely conservative part of the country is because of that accountability. Like holds me accountable for my political views, holds me accountable for my actions, holds me accountable for all the shit, the things I fucked up on, the things I didn't, the things I rectified, all of it. Like I want to be known like this is why I created this channel. It is literally a digital blueprint of what I said, what I did, how I felt. Some days I was sad and angry. Some days I was like happy and okay. But you can see, you can't start saying that I did shit that I didn't do. And I'm like, you can't be like, oh, well, she did this there. How? If I wasn't there, how could I do that? How? No, here's what I said and here's what I did. And I do have my own narrative, my own life, my own people, my own interests, my own things. My own things. And my own thoughts. My own thoughts. Kind of like most importantly. Most importantly. Right? And like I don't understand, like why do we let them off the hook? And why is it so normalized? How aren't these kids completely devastated? Because remember, we also saw this. Remember when I can't remember the woman's name, but it was one of the actresses from Desperate Housewives. She had like paid a whole bunch of money to like get her kids into college, and it had broken a bunch of laws. And then her and her husband ended up going to jail, I think for like 3 years or something like that. So they had to pay the price. Their kids had come out on TikTok and they were like, "Oh my God, I'm so humiliated." Like everyone at their school had like chastised them. It was pretty fucking awful. It was brutal for them. And all they did was like cheat to get into college. In this particular case, like Diddy had prostituted Cassie out to like a whole bunch of guys and then settled for $30 million. Like he is so guilty. How is it that no one is like, you don't see whole communities coming out and changing schools? It could be that people are doing this quietly, because there are quite a lot of like conservatives who just move so quietly that like people probably transferred schools. They're not like hanging out with those kids anymore. That's another thing. Like a lot of people with a lot of power and influence will continue to do this. It's kind of like when Cat Williams made that little statement that was about Mark Zuckerberg building those bunkers or whatever. There's another conversation. I'll actually read this article aloud. I'll grab it in a second and we can read it aloud. But basically, there's a whole bunch of people in Silicon Valley with like tech money who are buying property, and I think it's like Switzerland and New England or something. And it was because they like a lot of people feel like America is kind of losing it, like it's just not okay. Like if you live in like Atherton, or it's kind of like why Steph, I made a video about this, how Steph Curry doesn't want the affordable housing people to live in his neighborhood, and I understand that. And I think Dave Chappelle didn't either, right? They both advocated like, I don't want affordable housing in my neighborhood. I don't know if you guys read this, but I think it was like 2 weeks ago, some Chinese stalker broke into Steph Curry's house, just broke right in. And so Steph Curry had to get a restraining order against, it was just like a Chinese college kid, an international kid, who I think went to Cal Poly, broke into Steph Curry's house. like I think like I think some of you guys don't understand like the crimes that people are talking about and how scary it gets when that shit like hits your door. I too have had stalkers and it's not funny. Like that sort of shit isn't like okay. Some people don't understand like how to live in the regular world, and that like all of us are playing a part. But like nobody's gonna sit next to like a pedophile, a rapist, somebody who's like completely going against like your morals as a person. It's like understanding somebody's like a white supremacist and being like, yes, I'm actively choosing to go to school with this person and I want to work at the same company as them and I want to do, no, like you don't like actively make that choice. It's a kind of like one of the main things how a lot of black people feel about just so many issues, because like especially about immigration, it's one thing that just bugs the shit out of me. Like how is it that you've heard the way a lot of these like Latino immigrants feel about black people? It's like completely racist and awful, and yet you know that these people are coming here and you know how they feel, and you're just like, it's okay, they're not going to change. They're not all of a sudden going to be like, oh yeah, well, I've turned a new leaf. No, they're not. Like they would have done that where they were if they wanted to improve or change. They don't. It's kind of the thing about Diddy. I think we've all normalized knowing that he's a shitty person, and the people who've said, oh, my values are more important, are the people who are like, Holly Weird has some weird shit going on. Like I saw the little skit with Ryan Long today who made the thing. It was like, oh, if you want to be a black actor in Hollywood, wear the dress, right? Because it's actually become so much of a thing. First Dave Chappelle talked about it, now Cat Williams is talking about it, then Ice Cube talked about it. It's like all these people are talking about it. It is literally a thing. It is not normal to have to like emasculate yourself to be an actor. Like no other cultural group does that. They only do it to black men. And now it's become like caricature and a joke because it's kind of pathetic. Like that isn't a normal thing. The stuff that's happening with Diddy and his family isn't a normal thing, and I don't understand how is it that the black community is not completely up in shambles and just like, this isn't okay. And the reason is because so many things are fucked up that everybody's like, this is normal. I wonder what you guys think. And if something like that happened to a member in your family, wouldn't you have to be accountable in some sort of way where you'd have to make a public statement? Like you'd have to do something, and just be clear here, because those, I'm talking about like the Combs twins, the two girls specifically, like because they go to like, I don't think they're homeschooled now. I haven't read anything. Maybe I'll do a little bit of research and try to like find out for myself. But I don't think they like transferred schools or like shifted anything. But I did see that Quincy did a thing where he was like on the hotline or something. So he started an Instagram, it was like a call thing where he has a phone number. You can call that phone number and just like chat with Quincy so he can talk with his fans. Now, I just don't know how to feel about that. Like I think that these people, especially like Quincy, King Combs, all of these people who are trying to be public figures, trying to be celebrities, musicians even, that they need to have like some accountability. Otherwise, to people who are supporting them, you just have to know what you're supporting, because I'm sorry, like this is a trying, Cassie has a family too. right? Like Cassie has daughters, she has a husband, she's also like a woman in the world, and at this point she's like a domestic abuse survivor. Where are, it feels like his sons, his daughters, like they knew that this was happening and they were just like, we don't care. There's no way that all of these people who were around them for so long didn't know. I feel like a lot of people are coming out saying, yes, we knew that this was happening. We knew that this was happening. We all knew that this was happening. You can't just like know that something's happening and then like just be like, well, I'm not gonna take a side because like it doesn't have to do with me. Then who's gonna take a side? Like who's gonna stand up? That's the only way that society gets better, when people like stand up and they actually like make a change. Like you actually have to do the standing up and you actually have to like make the change. Like that has to be a part of it. You can't just like ignore it. But seriously, I don't know. It's just really frustrating, and it's something that I thought about today, and I wanted to say that.